So let's raise the big questions that's stemming from what you just heard from Mr. Owaisi, who's backing the Bharat Rashtra Samiti of K. Chandrasekhar Rao, taking on the Congress here in Telangana, his brother trapped in a controversy. Does Hindu-Muslim politics work in Hyderabad? Do the Owaisis here have a captive Muslim vote bank? Are the Congress and the BRS really battling for the Muslim vote bank? Is there any traction for the BJP's Hindutva plank south of the Vindhya? Joining me now, Nalin Kohli, BJP's senior spokesperson, T.S. Sudhir, political analyst who's tracked Telangana for years, Mohan Kumaramangalam, Congress spokesperson, Krishank Mane of the BRS. Appreciate all of you joining us here on the show today. I will come to you, Nalin Kohli, first, because Nalin Kohli, you heard Mr. Owaisi there. The BJP says that Akbaruddin Owaisi should be booked, he should be charged, his candidature should be cancelled. The moment the BJP goes into the old city, it will make it now another Hindu-Muslim fight, which is exactly perhaps what the Owaisis want. They want you to come in and polarize the electorate there. You've got Himanta Biswa Sarma, Assam Chief Minister, coming here and saying, if the BJP comes to power, I'll change the name of Hyderabad within half an hour.
Perhaps, Rajdeep, you are putting the shoe on the wrong foot. Mr. Owaisi and his brother are the ones who polarize an election. Why do you say we have to go in there and we polarize it to help them? What is Mr. Akbaruddin's statements? Why don't you just play for your viewers both the statements? His older one was, "Arey oh, Hindustan ki police, 15 minute ke liye jao, and then hum bata denge." And now his next video is telling a policeman, whatever I've seen on the social media or on channels, basically is saying somebody is requesting him and he's threatening him. 15 minute, batao. If I give an indication, you will have to run. In both the videos, the commonality is that Mr. Owaisi essentially is threatening the police. Now, why is it that Mr. Owaisi and Mr. Akbaruddin Owaisi always needs to threaten the police? It's a curious question. It raises some serious thought. Why the police? What is it about his so-called supporters that he needs to constantly say that the police will be something that I will target, or I'm the macho man against the police? I mean, this is worrisome. What is it that I will not follow rule of law? What is it that you should know that I will attack those who implement the rule of law? So I think there is a worrisome trend here. And it's not the BJP which needs to give answers. It's really what Mr. Owaisi should. Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi is a senior leader. He's a lawyer, barrister. I mean, if you also put the two videos in front of him, I'm sure he will be forced to defend, because Mr. Akbaruddin Owaisi is not just his brother but an important member of his party. But anyone who would see the videos will see there's a pattern.
Well, I did
and
raise
the language
question.
is consistent. And it's worrisome.
Sure. I did raise those questions with him, and I asked him whether they almost saw this as a captive vote bank and saw themselves as the big boss of old Hyderabad. But Krishank Mane, respond to what you heard from Nalin Kohli, because Mr. Owaisi is your ally. He's effectively our ally. Yesterday when I was in the old city, he was campaigning for the BRS. Now, does the BRS approve of the language that Akbaruddin Owaisi uses against a police officer, virtually telling them to get off the stage, threatening them openly in front of a large mob? Is that what a political leader should do? Do you approve of Owaisi's language, or are you simply with him because you also want a chunk of that Muslim vote here in Hyderabad?
Well, Rajdeep, let me make you clear that Akbaruddin Owaisi ji has been booked with 5 sections already by the Santosh Nagar police, number 1. But number 2, this doesn't give any kind of, necessity for the Bharatiya Janata Party or Himanta Biswa Sarma to take advantage of it and bring in the name change proposal of our city. This is our city. Our Hyderabadis will decide what the name has to be. If the Bharatiya Janata Party is, bothered about the name, then let them start off with Ahmedabad first and then talk about Hyderabad. No Himanta Biswa Sarma or Yogi Adityanath, or even to the matter of fact, Narendra Modi ji can come and threaten us that they will change the name of our city. While I'm talking this, Rajdeep, let me also question you. I'm sorry, because since yesterday, there have been debates about Mr. Akbaruddin Owaisi's statements on the police But why isn't there no debate on Mr. Revant Reddy, the Congress president, who threatened ACP, Assistant Commissioner of Police, that the Congress is maintaining a red diary and we are writing all the government officials' name. The ACP was threatened in large in a public meeting that your name is being written in the red diary, we will take care of you. This is threatening, this is targeting. Why doesn't Bharatiya Janata Party or the Congress Party speak about this? Is it only because Mr. Akbaruddin Owaisi is a Muslim that the whole national channels are debating this? Today, there are debates on Akbaruddin Owaisi. Why not Mr. Revant Reddy, who is also threatening police officers and talking about red diary?
Okay, can I for a moment just turn to Mohan Kumar Mangalam, because Mohan Kumar Mangalam, what seems to be happening is that when I heard Mr. Owaisi yesterday in his speech, large parts was spent targeting the Congress party. Half his speech was spent in targeting the Congress party, saying, who is the Congress party to give me a certificate of secularism? Who is the Congress party or Rahul Gandhi to claim I have taken money from the BJP to contest these elections and divide the Muslim vote or fight against an Asaduddin? How do you see this politics that Mr. Owaisi is playing in the old city of Hyderabad, or indeed the Congress's battle with the BRS for the minority vote? You and the BRS seem to be in competition for the minority Muslim vote.
Rajdeep ji, I'm coming to you from a place called Mehboob Nagar, which is about 23% minority population. I've been here for the last 2 months as an observer for the entire Mehboob Nagar Parliament for the Congress Party. And I can tell you that Mr. Owaisi is not a factor at all in this assembly or many of the assemblies in the parliament that I'm overlooking, which has on an average about 10 to 15% Muslim population. So I think Mr. Owaisi is much ado about nothing. He really is fixated on the seats, on those 7 seats that he has a holdover in Hyderabad. He therefore talks a big game of being the representative of Muslims in the state. But this election is really about Congress on one side and BRS, MIM and BJP on the other side. BJP isn't really doing Hindutva politics. This comment by Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma and the BRS spokesperson's response on the show shows that it's really a fixed match to begin with, where one person will say something and the other will try to turn this into a polarized environment. Really what's happening on the ground is that the Congress is fighting the BRS head to head in almost all the seats. The BJP for the last 6 to 8 months, I think, was doing BC politics. And they had a strong BC leader as their state president. As soon as they unceremoniously removed that state president, that politics or that strategy sort of fell away. And therefore, they are barely in the contest here. This really is, frankly, a contest between the Congress party on one side and BRS. So in Hyderabad, I would say MIM support. But outside Hyderabad, I don't even see that.
No, my focus for a moment is on Hyderabad. T.S. Sudhir, the fact is there are 7 constituencies which Mr. Owaisi dominates over the old city. He seems to get, some would say, disproportionate attention as a result. But his politics is then used to polarize voters in other parts. Do you really believe that works, though, on the ground? That here, when I travel across Hyderabad, I see people talking about issues of infrastructure, about drainage. Those seem to be the real issues. Is Owaisi at all a factor beyond those 7 constituencies that he controls here in Hyderabad?
Well, I don't think so, because I see, having followed the politics of Asaduddin Owaisi over the past 25 odd years, I don't see Asaduddin Owaisi really stepping out of his comfort zone. The 7 seats in the old city part of Hyderabad are really his comfort zone, and he hasn't really tried and tested the waters in the other parts of Hyderabad, leave alone Telangana. Obviously, when he goes and contests in Uttar Pradesh, in Maharashtra, in Bihar, in Bengal, obviously questions will be asked as to why is the MIM not contesting many more seats in Hyderabad and many more seats definitely in Telangana. Why is it that he's not contesting in Karimnagar or in Nizamabad or in Adilabad? So here, obviously, these 2 parties, the BRS and the MIM, are friendly parties. Owaisi obviously sees a benefit in the BRS returning to power because he has a bone to pick up with the Congress. He doesn't get along with the Congress leadership, and he believes a regional party like the BRS is good for the Muslim community on the whole, as he explained to you in that interaction. So as far as Owaisi is concerned, beyond those 7 seats, I don't think he really influences the Muslim vote, as Mohan Kumar Mangalam was saying, in the districts. I don't think that's really happening, which is why in this particular election, the Congress is really wooing the Muslim vote outside of the old city part of Hyderabad. I'm not even talking about the constituencies in the larger part of Hyderabad. I mean, we never see the MIM contesting, let's say, a constituency in Sikandrabad or any other part in Greater Hyderabad area. So that's the problem. The MIM has not really stepped out of its comfort zone within the old city area. That is its fort. Those are the constituencies where it will definitely do well. But to call Asaduddin Owaisi and the MIM the face of the entire Muslim community in Telangana would be a bit far-fetched.
You know, the fact though is many believe, Nalin Kohli, that you need an Asaduddin Owaisi because the BJP's comfort zone is Hindu-Muslim politics. You tried backward caste politics in Telangana, but it's not worked. Now, of course, you're saying that if you come to power, you'll have a backward caste chief minister, but you removed a leader from the backward caste as your state president. The question arises, does the BJP need an Asaduddin Owaisi kind of figure to constantly demonize and claim he's the sole spokesperson of all Muslims? He claims, I do work for everyone within Hyderabad, not just for Muslims, but you need an Asaduddin Owaisi. Does that strategy really work for you south of the Vindhyas, trying to demonize him in some manner?
We don't need him. And why should we? Our agenda is what Prime Minister Modi's government is consistently working. Development, development, development. So why don't we pick up the Congress and we pick up the BRS and we pick up Mr. Owaisi's party, the AIMIM. And let's actually map, and it'll be good with your data team, to map how infrastructure and infrastructure projects under the BJP and Prime Minister Modi's vision versus each one of them. And I can bet you, whether it's highways, whether it is other things, the BJP is ahead. Because the pace is to somehow overcome the slow, lethargic pace of development that we saw under successive Congress governments and their supporters and allies for a period of almost 50-55 years. At one time, we don't demonize it. The Hindu word is not, or the Muslim part. These are not creations of the BJP. We didn't come up with the name.
No, but you will recall, Mr. Kohli, you will recall,
come up with the name.
Mr. Kohli, just to stop you for a moment, you will recall, sir, you say that the BJP wants to fight elections on development, infrastructure, on the Prime Minister's vision. But we saw even in Karnataka, in the last stretch, the campaign became about Bajrang Bali. It didn't work. Now you're making the campaign, BJP leaders like Himanta, Biswa, Sarma come here to Telangana or Hyderabad, don't talk about infrastructure. They talk about what did Akbaruddin Owaisi say, what did, it almost seemed that you make Mr. Owaisi larger than life. He's only restricted to 7 constituencies, but the BJP wants to see Owaisis everywhere. He isn't, as T.S. Sudhir said, he's hardly the sole spokesperson of all Muslims, even in this state.
So, Mr. Owaisi perhaps desires to be larger than life. Why would we want him to be larger than life? His brand of politics and the BJP's brand of politics are 2 different poles. Now let me come, you've taken Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma ji's name 3 or 4 times in your show. The fact of the matter is, and I can say this with a sense of knowledge because I am associated with Assam, please visit Guwahati and see the pace of work of, say, flyovers or bridges, or the work otherwise that's happening in terms of 1 lakh jobs, 80,000 already given, pending for decades. I mean, it's unbelievable at the pace at which infrastructure in Guwahati city is changing. And that's only as an example, but it's not as if the rest of Assam is not happening. So therefore, if you are looking at Dr. Sarma's work, it speaks for itself.
I am in a city where infrastructure has dramatically improved.
You take that one sentence and say this is what it stands for.
I am also in a city where...
Sorry?
Sure, but I am also in a city where infrastructure has dramatically improved. Hyderabad in many ways is showing the kind of growth that we want to see in many of our cities in terms of improved infrastructure. But Mohan Kumar Mangalam, you say that the Congress is not making this election about Hindu-Muslim. But when you had your manifesto, there was a minority declaration. There was the Congress claimed we will give 4,000 crores more for minority welfare. The BRS, for its part, has a Shadi Mubarak scheme under which a Muslim girl, when she gets married, gets 1 lakh rupees in her bank account. So there seems to be a competition for the minority vote. Offer them Sops. You say it's not Hindu-Muslim, but you want that Muslim vote about 15%, and in many constituencies it's way above that. So all of you are competing for that vote, Mohan.
Rajdeep ji, we didn't just have a minority declaration. We had a BC declaration. We had an SC/ST declaration. And overwhelmingly, what we've been talking about throughout the state are about the 6 guarantees that we're giving to all people. I mean, of course, depending on what guarantee we're talking about, but those 6 guarantees have been sort of our headline when we're going and campaigning with the masses. Yeah, and we've had all these separate declarations, so please don't make us out to be someone who are only trying to seek the minority votes. Having said that, I agree with you. They are a significant percentage in the state, and I think their voting determines, if I'm not wrong, about 40 to 45 seats out of the entire 119 assembly. So yes, they are important. As far as BRS schemes goes, whether it was Shadi Mubarak or whether it was the scholarship that we were giving to Muslim students, this very same Asaduddin Owaisi was criticizing these schemes about 6 months ago. And if you go down on the ground, you will see that many of the schemes that BRS propounded never came to fruition. Why? The real question to ask here, Rajdeep ji, and I'll leave BJP out of this because, like I said, they're not really in the contest here at all, is that in the first 2 elections, in the last 2 elections rather, when TRS won, the Muslim community voted overwhelmingly for them. But this time, the Muslim community has moved completely away from the TRS. And I promise you, when the results come out, you will see that just as in Karnataka, the minority community overwhelmingly voted for the Congress. In Telangana too, you will see the impact and you will see the minority community moving completely towards the Congress. That is the kind of trend that I am seeing on the ground today. And it's mostly because the minority community has it's become clear to everyone. Just 1 second. Sorry, I'll just finish. It's become clear to everyone that there is a tacit understanding between the BRS and the BJP. And that is why the minority community are
that
moving
point
away from
just
the BRS.
mentioned by Mohan Kumaramangalam, Krishank Mane, there's a sense that the Congress has played this card that BRS and BJP have a tacit understanding. It almost seems that they're using that to, some would say, tell the Muslims don't vote for the BRS because the BJP has some kind of a deal going with them. Does that worry you that in this battle for perception, the Congress has successfully portrayed you in some way as having a deal with the BJP?
Well, Rajdeep, it doesn't really bother us because this is a regular rhetoric of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. They did this in 2014 and 2018, and it's the same repeat dialogue again. And not just in Telangana. When Mr. Rahul Gandhi was campaigning in West Bengal, he called Mamata Banerjee and Trinamool Congress as Team B of BJP. Did Bengal believe? Rahul Gandhi also campaigned Arvind Kejriwal as Team B of BJP in Delhi and Punjab. Did the Delhi and Punjab people believe? So same, Rajdeep, in Telangana, people will not believe the Congress's regular dialogue because the point is, let me quote 2 things. The PCC president, Mr. Revant Reddy, is from the RSS and ABVP. The Telangana Congress minority wing chairman quit the party. He served for the Congress for decades and he quit against Revant Reddy. Adilabad's very strong leader, the district Congress president, who is also a Muslim, has quit the party because a RSS new entrant from the Bharatiya Janata Party was given ticket from the Adilabad. This is the ground situation in the state which the Congress wants to hide. Holding a strategist, they want to think that the minority is actually with them is absolutely false because see, we are the ones who are questioning the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress wants to remain a mute spectator. Nirmala Sitharamanji comes here and she speaks about the agricultural smart meters and the Congress doesn't want to react. And if we are questioning the Bharatiya Janata Party, Congress wants to say that, see, this is just a tacit understanding, this is a fight, but the Congress doesn't want to question Bharatiya Janata Party. You don't see a Revant Reddy questioning Narendra Modi ji, never, not at all. So the Congress doesn't want to fight. They don't let the BRS also question.
Can I just stop?
Definitely people of Telangana will see this.
Okay, can I just stop you for... Okay, let me come to you, T.S. Sudhir. T.S. Sudhir, does this Muslim vote bank theory work really south of the Vindhyas? Is there a sense that there's a distinct Muslim vote bank? Because if there is a mood for change, Muslims will go with the mood for change, as we've seen in the past south of the Vindhyas. Is there as distinct a Muslim vote bank outside the old city of Hyderabad as sometimes analysts make it out to be in a state like Telangana?
Well, only in pockets, Rajdeep. I wouldn't say it's uniform across Telangana, only in pockets. Across the south, we have seen again pockets where there is a problem as far as the Hindu-Muslim dynamics is concerned, especially areas in coastal Karnataka where we have seen the PFI being active. Also on the other side, groups like the Bajrang Dal being active. I can tell you, even seeing Hyderabad move over the years, instead of the very sedate, along with the very sedate celebrations on a Ram Navami, now you have a much more strident celebration on, let's say, a Hanuman Jayanti. So the youth are also exposed to a much more macho way of celebrating the monkey god. On the other hand, you have the speeches made by AIMIM leaders, which kind of reek of victimhood, again appealing to their constituency. So both groups are in that sense trying to appeal to their respective constituencies. You have the BJP's Raja Singh in Gosha Mahal, again someone who makes extreme strident and sometimes very lot of hate speeches. So you have characters from both the parties, both the communities who indulge in this kind of dialogue bazi, if I may call it. But yes, all the political parties at this time at election seem to be like casting directors. If the Congress says that if the BJP says that the steering wheel of the BRS is in the hands of Owaisi, the Congress puts out puppets saying that Narendra Modi is the one who is controlling both Owaisi and KCR. So that kind of A team, B team, C team dynamics is actually going on at this point in time in the run-up to the election. And I think that will go on at least till the 30th of November.
You know, I just want to end with Nalin Kohli, a quick response, because while we speak on Owaisi and the language used by Akbaruddin Owaisi, which is clearly unacceptable towards police officers, what about the language that Mr. Raja Singh has used, the hate speeches that he has done? At the end of the day, after suspending him, you gave him an election ticket. So you also want your extreme Hindutva figures to be in election time in a city like Hyderabad with a large Muslim population because it serves your end.
That's your conclusion. A separate thing has happened with regard to his speeches. The ticket is separate. And has he spoken after that, anything like that, which merits the party to take action? The party took action when it was a situation. At least we do. But I found it fascinating that in this entire discussion and debate today, all my esteemed colleagues from the other parties, their entire focus was on division of the vote and looking at benefits for the minorities. Whereas the difference is that the BJP looks at it as an Indian citizen. So when Prime Minister Modi speaks of a new India, he doesn't see it as a new India for minorities or for the majority. He sees it as a new India for Indians. And I think that's what was the point I was making in the beginning.
No,
so
he says that, you see, Mr. Modi says that, Mr. Modi says that in Delhi and you have a Raja Singh in Hyderabad. You see, you have Mr. Modi saying all the nice politically correct things in Delhi of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, but in Hyderabad you have a Raja Singh who pits himself against the Owaisis and says, let's make it a Hindu-Muslim fight.
So, no, I think perhaps that may not be a correct example. Prime Minister Modi is the Prime Minister of the country and his concern is for everyone. Mr. Raja, if he is speaking in his individual capacity, not as Mr. Modi's spokesperson, in his constituency, perhaps, given the dynamics there. How does that change the BJP's agenda for development, which is for everyone? That includes you, me and everybody else. It doesn't include it from a vision of a Muslim or a Hindu or a Christian or a Buddhist or a Parsi or a Jew.
Okay. I'm going to leave it there. I hope all these fine thoughts in television studios are translated to the language that I see sometimes being used on the ground. But I want to leave it on that point. And I want to say this to our viewers, because having spent some time in Hyderabad, I've seen that it's a city of communal harmony. It hasn't experienced a major it hasn't experienced major communal violence over the last 10 years, and I've seen enough examples here of harmony, Ganesh Chaturthi processions, Eid-e-Milad also going on at the same time. So that's the good news in the times in which we live.